Chapter 5 is on finance. Chapter 5 is very much related to Chapter 4 because the growth of exponential growth and linear growth show up in finance. The first section of Chapter 5 is about basic budgeting, so please read that on your own. But we want to talk about simple interest. So the second section of 5.2 talks about simple interest. Simple interest is linear growth, so that's how they're related. And only the original amount of money borrowed or invested generates interest over time. In other words, what you borrow or what you invest is what gets interest. You don't earn interest on the interest. So that's what simple interest is. A little different is that it doesn't earn interest on the interest. Some examples of these are Treasury Bonds. So Treasury Bonds are places where you don't earn interest on the interest. You just put the money in someplace, and at the end of that time, you get the money back out. So I actually had a loan once that was for a car that was simple interest. I'm not sure why the bank did that, but they did that. So you can see them sometimes. And again, it is linear growth. So it does look just like a line of growth going up. So the formula for this is F, which is your future value. In other words, how much is it going to be in some year? P is your principal, what you started with, your present value. And then just like the linear growth formula, which is P of t equals P0, 1 plus dt, it's very, very similar, just we're using different letters, but it is basically the linear growth formula. So we use 1 plus RT instead, where R is your annual percentage rate, and T, of course, is your time. Usually when we're talking about finance, time is in years, but it doesn't have to be. Alright, so going on from that, let's do an example. Let's say I invest $2,000 in a savings bond that pays 5% per year simple interest. How much will the bond be worth in, let's say, 25 years? So the first thing to realize is how much money do we actually have. So we're investing $2,000. So since we're investing that, that's our principal. 5% is my percentage rate, so that's my annual percentage rate. And I want to know how much is it going to be worth in 25 years, so T must be 25. So I'm going to put P equals 2,000. I want to know how much it's worth in the future, so that's F. And I'm going to put my 2,000 into my formula. I then put all the numbers into my formula, and out comes with my answer. And it's $4,500 is how much that $2,000 will be worth in 25 years. Another example is, let's say, this is a problem from the book. We have a payday loan for $400. 13 out of $100 is charged for interest. So in other words, for every $100, you're going to be charged $13. So we have to figure out in this case what is the interest, but the annual percentage rate is, and that's what we kind of want to find out. So here, you're going to be charged $13 times 400 times, your term is 15 days. So you're going to have your $400 you started with, plus your 13 times 4, because there's 400, so there's 400, so your per $400 means you have 4 of them. So 4 times 13, that tells you how much you're going to be owing in the future. So you're going to owe $452 in 15 days. And we want to find the annual percentage rate. So T is 15 over 365, because there's 365 days in a year, and we're only doing it for 15 days. And then we know the future value. How much is it going to be? We're going to be paying back. We know how much we started with, because you know how much you took it out for. You just want to know what is your annual percentage rate. So the R is what we're solving for. So you're going to just first divide both sides by 400 to get rid of that 400. And then you're going to have 1.13 equals 1 plus 0.0411R. Remember, that's your time, is 0.0411. And then subtract 1 from both sides, and you can then divide by 0.0411 to get R by itself. And that comes up to 3.163. Now that is not the percent, that's a decimal. That as a percent is 316.3%. This is why payday loans are not good ideas. And so the next section we'll be looking at compounding interest, where you actually earn interest on the interest. We'll look at that next time.